everybody. Welcome to this special edition of Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. We're here at Dub Live at the LA Convention Center. I think it's, well, I don't even want to ask you the date, Ed, because you have a little issue with dates.
I thought it was next weekend.
Well, it's the 12th of March, not, well, it would have been the 19th, Ed. Well, think of all the attention you would have got if you came here next week.
Oh, yeah, I'd have been a star.
Well, you're a star still. We showed up here yesterday in the pouring rain for setup, and it was quite the fiasco, but we managed to get in. We lost a few soldiers on our way to the war, however. At this point, Ed, the battlefield, it got a little messy yesterday. The first man down, Ian Cordova. Have you seen the pictures?
No, I haven't seen the pictures.
Well, there's pictures of Ian's truck on a flatbed. Ian was going to come down from Hanford and bring his custom Taco 22.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen that bike. It's the green one that was the People's Choice winner at the last Joe's Minibike Reunion. And, Ian, let's face it, he gets more excited about these things than you do.
Yeah.
Well, anybody gets more excited about these things than you do. So the poor kid, ready to go, and the truck died, so he was out. Frank shows up from F&B with his awesome Stellar. With that Power Products little two-stroke. This was his dad's bike, and you may have seen it because it's been at Joe's Minibike Reunion. He shows up, but Brian didn't show up. Brian was doing a little bit more work on his custom drag bike. You've seen that orange custom F&B drag bike. So here's the second victim down, Ed. Wade Kawasaki had one of the nicest CT70s. I don't know if you remember the...
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, it was that blue one. It was at the Coker booth last year at the show.
Yeah, right.
Well, Wade is... Wade's a big collector. No matter what it is he has, car or truck or mini bike, they're really nice. And I was really hoping that would make itself available, but his son, who works with Miles, it turns out that he wasn't able to come to this event. Of all the events, he couldn't make this one, so he couldn't get his bike. So that's three men down. And then there's you.
I thought it was next weekend. I don't know why, but I just kept thinking it was March 18th.
Well, I was doing my best to enlist folks. In fact, I felt bad because I wanted to have George here because he's right down the street at GTS Hobby. I wanted to have maybe D. Gee, I asked Jake Moe to bring a bike. Could you imagine if everybody showed up?
Oh, yeah.
You guys may not be able to see it, but we're in a 10x30 display here. And I have essentially 5 bikes here instead of the 12 that were planned. I really don't know how we would have gotten 12 bikes in here. Suffice it to say, we're probably better off as we are. Kevin and Ray from Steady Garage brought me out this really trick Honda Ruckus that everybody's falling in love with. And you and I were talking. It's really more of a Grom Ruckus kind of a crowd, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say so. They all run to the Ruckus and the Grom.
Yeah, they're all here to check out. And this is an extended frame Ruckus. It's got air ride. It's modified. It's got all the right stuff on it.
Some of the old timers, though, they're checking out the mini bikes.
Well, the old guys will check them out, just like this guy's doing, like checking out some of our old schools. So what we have is, again, the guys from Steady Garage. Shout out to Kevin. Shout out to the owner of the bike as well as Ray. And then Steve rolled in. Steve rolled in with, this bike's getting a lot of attention. It's a Honda Grom original platform, but it's a track bike. Awesome carbon fiber body on it. He's obviously had to do the suspension and the braking, Ed, the wheels and the tires, but it looks really nice. Really cool owner, Steve. He hangs out with my buddy Bing Flores, and Bing's one of the old school Grom guys. He sets up all those cool rides that we have here in LA. Hopefully he'll be showing up. So we have these 2 bikes, and then we've got, I mentioned the Stellar, and then we've got Temecula Bob. My favorite, because I'm actually getting to enjoy that bike. I can't wait to get it out to ride. Now your bike is going to be ready for the next ride? Eddie?
Which one?
Well,
yeah, I'll have one running. Well, they all run, but...
Yeah, but what one did you mention you were going to bring?
The Bonanza with the 5-horse lighted
coil. Right.
Yeah,
that would be perfect. And as I understand it, this was the week that they were going to do the show, or excuse, not the show, they were going to do the ride. But because we had this happening, Jake changed the ride date.
Okay.
Probably better off if it was going to rain, I don't know. But we will be riding again. Jake Moe puts that on typically, so keep an ear out for Jake Moe. If I find out about it, I'll let you know. But we're going to be riding soon, and I'm going to take that Temecula Bob bike out. The one thing about that bike is I don't have the exhaust tacked to the engine anywhere. You know that thing likes to vibrate, Ed?
All right.
Got a long F&B pipe
brakes,
on there.
yeah.
And then we've got Frankenstein here, which people are digging and appreciate it. So these are the 5 bikes that we have. In the background, you hear some of the current rap artists that are too cool for guys like me and Ed. But I saw you doing the little the hip hop moves there.
Yeah, you get used to it.
You got a good move.
When I was doing car shows back in the 80s, it was nothing like this.
Well, when we first got here, it wasn't much for us to set up. So I told Ed, say, go find a place where you can grab a cigarette break. I'll do a vape hit or 2, and you can go check out all the cars. Well, you look like you were tired as shit when you got back.
Yeah, a lot of stuff here.
Well, it's a different scene. The dub crowd is like an urban crowd. I see like a guy with a new Super B. He's probably got 200 grand in bling on it. Outrageous Corvettes. Lifted trucks. It's all about lifted trucks, modified SUVs.
I was checking out all the lowriders.
And then there's Jeeps. I mean, so if it's got aftermarket equipment, if it's a vehicle that you would see at a SEMA show display, that's typically what's here. Because Miles has it figured out, he knows a lot of these guys are into, it's an urban world. Hip hop's big here. And Miles has always attracted the top hip hop acts, not only because we're LA, but they love dub. They love their magazine. They love the lifestyle. Many former athletes are here. Many current athletes are here. Many of those guys were, Kobe and his vehicles were featured on dub. You'll see a few of them floating around here. Interesting group, wouldn't you say, Ed?
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting.
I see a lot.
Some good-looking girls, though.
I see 2 over there right now.
Yep.
That's what happens when you have the lights and the camera.
If my head's wobbling back and forth, you know what I'm doing.
Well, as long as it's this head. So our plan is, we're taping this to broadcast later as a Joe's Minibike Reunion show, our podcast show. So we're hoping that Frank joins us from F&B. He'll be here shortly. Maybe he'll be bringing on Solo. We've reached out to our minibike fans, hoping that maybe if you're around LA, you'd like to join us, stop by the booth. It's booth number 418. You really can't miss us. We're going to be here until 6 o'clock. We'll be tone deaf by then, wouldn't you say, Ed?
Yeah.
Ed, who is your favorite rapper, just off the top of your head?
Snoop Dogg, I guess.
To the double G, well, he'll probably be here. We'd like to thank our sponsor for today's show, Royal Blunts. Yes, that's right, folks. Royal Blunts, appropriate sponsor for our Dub Live event. I'm kind of getting a little buzz. How about you?
Yeah, kind of getting into it.
A little secondary buzz. I think it's more of a vapor pen buzz. Yeah, a lot of family here, Ed. They seem to be into
a lot of strollers.
Yeah, a lot of strollers.
A lot of kids.
A lot of kids. They're all in. They see them and they light up. What's the first question they ask us so far?
Is the stuff for sale?
Yeah, and more pointedly, how much, right?
Yeah, how much?
Like they walk right up to you, they don't say hi, they don't ask you for shit. It's like, how much for that? How have you been answering them?
I just tell them we just here for the mini bike show.
Yeah, we're just here for the mini bike.
It's hard to get into it.
Well, you're right.
Here.
It's like a double-edged sword. Plus, and like right now, there's like stalkers, right? And I just went to the corner. So if I was hanging out over here, we got a lot of beautiful ladies here at Dub Live checking us out here. Once again, we're going to be taping for a broadcast later on Joe's Minibike Reunion. We're looking forward to bringing in Kevin from Steady Garage. Kevin and Ray over at Steady Garage, they got this whole Grom scene down. The new Kawasaki's, the new Ruckuses, they build bikes from scratch. Like you can bring them your stock bike, Ed, just drop it off, give them like 2 months, pick up a fully custom depending on how fast you want to go or what your riding preference is. So they're going to be here. F&B will be here. A couple things going on with F&B. F&B is going to be hopefully finishing up the Pioneer bike.
Good.
Okay? I'd like to give a shout out to Pioneer Car Audio, as well as our other sponsors for Joe's Minibike Reunion and our podcast, our friends over at CRC Industries, makers of Brake Clean and your favorite, Ed.
Knock her loose.
We brought some Power Lube. You know, I didn't realize the many advantages of Power Lube. Don't get me wrong, it's no knock or loose, but I brought Scotch Brite to clean Frankenstein. You know, it rained as we were coming in there, so it was already starting to get like surface rust. So I start Scotch Briting Frankenstein, and my hands were as black as you can imagine. Well, they're as black as that girl's shirt, Ed. Ed?
Yeah.
Ed?
Yeah.
And I couldn't get it off my hands, so the Power Lube, unlike the Brake Clean, because I do not suggest you spray Brake Clean on your hands.
I do, but I wouldn't suggest anyone.
Well, it'll burn the shit out of you. But I was able to clean my hands with Power Lube, so there's another advantage. But we're looking forward to having all these guys out here to join us on the show. We'll catch up with Brian, and Brian's going to bring us up to speed on the custom Rutman that is going to be, it's going to be like a rolling sound wagon. It's going to be equipped with all of our new Pioneer Car Audio speakers. The seat's a subwoofer. The headlight, the tail lights are all speakers. It's going to be really cool. And I've talked to the guys at Pioneer, and I've got them to agree, Ed, to let us give this bike away at Joe's Minibike Reunion this year.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I might try and win it.
Well, you get to, you know, as long as you enter your bike, although, I don't know, wouldn't it be a fix if you won? Let's fix it so you win. We just won't tell anybody.
No.
Well,
No.
well, we'll make it.
If I won it, I'd probably give it to some kid.
Yes, because you're a giver. Well, you know, the sound's not too bad. The sights aren't too bad. If you are listening to this podcast right now, don't forget we're going to be giving away a small engine camshaft from Tim over at Small Engine Cams. We'll also be taking questions. So if you want to go ahead and send us your questions in advance to Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast, you know we're going to be on there live airing this taped program, but you can still, just like all of our other podcasts, send in your questions, hashtag them JMBR, or hashtag those small engine cams. I don't know, Ed. This could be good for us. We're spreading the word. We're talking a lot about the event.
Could be real big next year.
A lot of these guys who ask you who's building these bikes, you should start telling them you. And I would take a $500 deposit.
I'm retired.
Yeah, but just take the deposit. Take the $500 deposit, and then
give me a deposit, and I'll call you when it's done.
And for $8 a Coke, we're going to need like a deposit. If we're going to have lunch, we're going to need some heavy cash here. Well, all right, everybody. This is a new little twist on the podcast. Stick back around with us. We're going to take a quick little time out, and hopefully we'll be able to bring in some of our Joe's Minibike Reunion Hall of Famers and VIPs and award winners as we film right here at Dub Live at the LA Convention Center. And I can't hear a damn thing. We'll be right back.
I can't hear anything either. You ask me a question, I'm like, huh?
All right, everybody. Have a cool drink. We'll be right back. Everybody, welcome back to Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. We're taping here at Dub Live. I feel alive, Ed. How about you?
Yeah, not bad.
It's a
little different crowd though than I'm used to.
It's like a bass. It's that bass, baby.
Of course, I haven't been to a car show in like 25 years.
Well, it allows us to catch up. because we get to go to a car show and we get to be at a concert. And, you know, the visual. You know, let's take a look around, won't you? For example, you know,
Yeah.
all kinds, all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, all sizes.
If I would have known better, I think I could have gotten away if I used this event to launch my new weave line. I had a weave. I was pretty close to putting it on today, and then, like, I don't know if it's like a Russian Armenian thing with a lot of these guys wearing the sunglasses inside.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
A little scary.
Kinda. I
There's
just walked past the frickin' snack bar line. It's like frickin' half a block long.
Yeah. Well, you saw me. I came back with 3 little chicken tenders. One of them I fucking inhaled on the way over here.
Man.
I brought 2 back for you guys because 2 things. I couldn't carry them, and they were $18 each. What's that, like fucking $4 a nugget?
I saw a chicken teriyaki plate for $12.
That was not chicken, okay? Between the 2 of us. Hey, folks, we got a couple things going on here. Although I will say, Ed, I'm a little stumped. I haven't seen Frank from F&B. I haven't seen much of anybody.
Haven't seen Corona Irving.
I have not. Corona Irving was going to join us, but Steve's here. Now, Steve is the owner of the custom Grom that we have here. It's a track bike setup. You know, it's a carbon fiber body. He's a really nice guy. He comes from my buddy Bing. Bing is with the Grom lifestyle, and Bing just such a cool cat. He turned me on to Steve because I wanted to have a Grom here, and I wanted to have a ruckus because, you know, Ed, you and I would love hanging just with the vintage bikes, but I try to represent the entire spectrum here. And honestly, I'm glad that we did. So we're going to bring Steve in. Many people are asking about his bike, so we'll find out what Steve's got into this bike. That music in the background is one of many artists performing here at Dub Live. It's a car show. It's a people show, man. I don't know. A lot of touchy-feely. You know, the kids don't know better, right? They come up, they grab the handlebars like they do like a mother's bosom. It's the guys that come up and want to sit on them, or, you know, they start touching shit, Ed.
Yep.
Somewhere, see, there's a guy.
Can't resist.
See him with the sunglasses? See?
Now, what's up with that?
It's big with the
buddy,
sunglasses.
take them off.
There's also another trend here. It's the Raiders. The Raiders are still huge in California, but particularly with this crowd. It's a big Laker, and it's a big Raider nation. I'm seeing it. Yeah, the little Kings.
Kings.
Now, you're a big shot. I noticed you're rubbing elbows with Mr. Miles Kovacs from Dub.
Really?
Well, he's the guy there. Yeah, everybody knows Evil Ed, though. So while we've been here, you know, we're promoting the podcast. We're promoting the event. We're giving out some decals. These are the Evil Ed decals. I made 2 kids cry today by trying to give them a decal of Evil Ed. Scared the shit out of them. I think it's, look how cute that is, huh?
Yeah.
We have the Evil Ed hats. You know, we only had a little table here. We're in a 10 by 30 space. It's not that big. And we had the table, we were using it like our store. We had a whopping record 0 sales, Ed.
Yeah. What can I say?
Well, it's just that indicative of our brand. We're just killing it. I didn't even ask anybody how much. Well, they did. One person asked how much they were. Then he laughed and he left. We should increase the prices. If we're not going to sell any, might as well just go balls out. Put them out there for 100. All right, so a little bit later on, I'm going to try to drag Steve over, but let's bring the guys up to speed. Now, you and I were talking about the recent Detroit Autorama. Our good friend Calvin Carisi had, what was it, the Psycho
Banana?
The Psycho Banana. Pretty trick name. Isn't it ironic as we look at this yellow Super Bee? Can anything be more yellow? I'll never get all that. But the Psycho Banana, he kind of pulled it off. Kalman. He came in third place. In fact, on the Facebook page for Joe's Minibike Reunion, I posted the winners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, first, second, and third place bikes are there. I'm sorry, I don't remember the first and second place winners because my heart's with Kalman. But, you know, Kalman, I love him to death, but he did one of those chick moves on Facebook. At the hospital. That's just the post, you know, at the hospital. Now you know what that provokes, right?
I'm going to be at the hospital after this from walking around getting my knees checked out.
Yeah. Well, I told you it was going to be a commitment.
You get a text about 9 o'clock tonight. Joe, I'm in the hospital.
Well, I'll be tone deaf by then. Sending me a text would be better than calling because I won't be able to hear it. So Kalman posted he's in the hospital.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, shit, what does that mean? Right? You drop off somebody who had a job there? Are you being admitted? Is it serious? You have a fucking bee sting, or did you get hit by a tractor and trailer? Like, you gotta fill in the gaps.
Stepped
you can't.
in a pothole.
Yeah. Busted your eardrums. You know, give us something. So I'm not quite sure what's up with my man Kalman, but we hope that you're all right. And good job again with that custom entry to the Autorama. Now here's a rapper, Ed. See the rapper? Well, he's got it. I don't know if he's a rapper or not. Maybe he's a rapper wannabe. I don't know, Ed.
I don't know what he's doing.
I think we're too damn old to figure this out. Although I did it. I saw a few normal people. I saw a couple anti-tattooed,
I'm glad you're taking care of the weird people.
Well,
all the normal people are like my age asking about the mini bikes, not those Groms.
Well, it's a younger crowd here at Dub Live. So, a couple things. A shout out to Kalman, hoping that you're doing okay. See, the girl's going to grab the bike handlebar. Watch. No, she seems too nice. How cute. Look at that little angel. See, she's polite. She has social skills.
Look at that.
All right. You know, Emmanuel and I, and Ed, you and I have talked about it. We hinted at it during the last podcast. But I've gotten... see, he's going to touch the bike. Don't touch the bike. I've gotten a little closer with the Joe's Minibike Reunion. What would it be? A YouTube web show. We have an agreement, Emmanuel and I, where Emmanuel is going to work with us and help us pull off our first 12-minute, approximately 12 minutes, 12-minute show. It'll be you and I, Ed, and some of our friends, whether it's Jake or who knows, maybe we can bring Guardrail Dave out of the bushes for this.
I hit him up last time I saw him.
Where did you see him?
Maybe a week ago.
Yeah. How's he doing, all right?
Yeah, a lot of changes in his life.
Edwin, do you know Edwin Murto?
Yeah.
So Edwin, and I know I'm bouncing around here, but I'll get back to the podcast, or excuse me, not the podcast, the YouTube show. Edwin is now he's a friend of mine on Facebook. So I reached out to him. I want him to be a guest. He's like, oh man, thank you very much. I'm so privileged, but I don't think I could do something like that. It's like, it's fucking talking to me and Ed at the garage.
Yeah.
You know, it's an easy deal. So hopefully Edwin Murto will be joining us as a guest. Now, Edwin's good because if you go back and listen to one of the first podcasts we had with Charles was going on about the Edwin stories too. What do you remember about him? What do you remember about Edwin?
Oh, he rides in the dirt nice, you know. Good guy. When we had those illegal races, he was always looking way ahead of everyone.
He's into BMX bikes now.
Yeah, he's into BMX bikes right now.
He kind of went backwards on that. Don't you go from BMX bikes to mini bikes? You know, he kind of went mini bike to BMX.
He's always been into bicycles.
Oh, okay.
So he's been into Harleys, mini bikes.
Yeah, so he likes anything with two wheels?
Yeah.
Well, Edwin may be a potential guest on the show. 2018 Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. So back to the show. It would be you and I, Ed, working with E, and we're going to create the first show, and then hopefully Emmanuel will maintain a role guiding our production, our new production team. He'll be doing our post-production work. we'll be able to do and control all the voiceovers, and we'll storyboard it. We'll go out and maybe we'll have a chance to go to Detroit and ride with those guys and capture some film.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Maybe we'll go visit the guys from GoPowersports.com in Texas. They want us to maybe go out there and see their shop and see their builds and ride around. Maybe we'll go to see the Wind Bear folks out in PA. Check out that event.
Yeah, I'd like to go there again. Dave hit me up too. He goes, we ought to go out there again.
Well,
I said, sounds good, but are you going to go?
it's a long way away. It's a one-day event. It could rain at any time, so you wonder about going that far out. But my point is that we can go there. We can go, you and I are...
I've been to Windberg before 2 times. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I've never been. I wouldn't mind going. But it would be us, Ed, when we're building the bikes, whether it's the CRC bikes, whether it's the Pioneer bikes, covering those builds that we're building for some of our clients. Maybe it's us out riding. We've had so much fun and talked so much about us riding with Jake out at the AV. Maybe riding and checking out what's happening with some of the street racing here in SoCal. I want to go out there and capture.
I haven't seen Charles here. Mini drag bike.
In fact, I thought I'd see him here. He's right down the street. See, a lot of the young kids like the old school bikes too, you notice?
Yeah.
So look for more of that, with the hopes that we're able to capture our first Joe's Minibike Reunion YouTube show and put it in front of you guys maybe by June or July. Emmanuel's been real busy. He's got a lot of things going on. I've been busy too with my new gig, some new clients. Things have been looking up in that regard. So maybe we'll have we're stretching that canvas a little bit, Ed. We got our event, which is upcoming again in October. We've got our podcast. Our social media is picking up a little bit. If you could go to JMBR podcast on YouTube and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by July. When we get to 1,000, YouTube coughs up a little ad revenue. And we would just use this money to go out having fun and giving you guys hopefully a little bit more of what you like, which is mini bike fun. Go out, while we've been here, people are asking us, well, how much on the bikes and how much for that one? When it's a father or son, or I tell these guys, go buy a bike, go buy a frame, go buy an engine. You have got some basic tools, you can put one together.
Go-Karts USA sells a kit.
Yeah, Go-Karts USA. We got to talk to those guys because they're coming out with all kinds of cool things. Electric scooters and, they're big bikes. So we're going to take a quick pause. Again, we're taping live at Dub Show. It's Dub Live here at the LA Convention Center. It's me and the evil one, Evil Ed. We got Emmanuel behind the camera here.
Yay, Emmanuel.
We're hoping that Brian will join us from F&B. Frank, I know, is going to be here. Steve, the owner of this Grom track bike. I have a few of these guys here with us, joining us a little bit later on. Hopefully, if you're listening in, you have a chance to send us your questions, comments, or remarks. Hashtag them JMBR, hashtag them small engine cams. We'll be right back after we take a quick time out to clean our ears. We need some peroxide and some Visine, whatever. Thanks for listening, everybody. Welcome back to Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. We're taping live at the Dub Show, and we're going to be airing this on a future podcast for Joe's Minibike Reunion. Everything works the same, like we're live. So go ahead and send in your questions, send in your comments, hashtag them JMBR, hashtag them small engine cams, and hashtag them
F&B Racing.
F&B Racing. Speaking of, I've got the F from F&B with us. Franquez from F&B. What a damn weekend it's been for you, huh, brother?
Oh, yeah, it's been an eventful one. I'm glad to be here, promote the mini bikes, get out here and talk to everybody, have a good time.
That's Frank being nice. Frank's joined with his beautiful wife. We're all here. We kind of, weekends are precious. Let's face it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's been a busy weekend. Had an eventful yesterday, but still made it back today so we can come out here and enjoy the crowd.
Well, tell everybody what you brought out. I've been doing my best. They've been asking me like what year that Stellar is, but the story that I tell, Frank, is that first of all, the Stellar's trying to find one, and then the engine, the two-stroke Power Products engine, along with the fact that you've got a history with this bike. This is your dad's bike, right?
No. This bike here was actually built for a customer named Kevin, and I've done a few bikes for him. We do restorations and do a few different things. This particular bike, he wanted more custom than original. The frame's original, but he wanted nice paint, a two-stroke engine, all the bells and whistles, nice chrome, all that stuff. We like to take it out to the events. It's a, people pleaser. So that's what we do.
You mentioned paint. You were being somewhat modest about that. That's a really cool candy with a little bit of a gold flake in there.
Absolutely. It's a House of Colors candy red with gold flake inside the paint job.
The motor is painted white, glossy enamel. If you saw it, you would die. It's got chrome in all the right spots. The coolest thing is that tiny trumpet on that carb.
Yeah, we didn't do too much to it other than just put on all the nice little accessories to it. He wanted to keep it mostly stock, but get that bling effect to it. So
well, the white too, Frank.
Definitely.
And Emmanuel typically captures all these photos as we're talking about him. This bike has almost like a full-size bicycle Mini Ape handlebar setup with just the right size brake lever, white pristine grips, a nice white seat. Excellent job. And you know what? It's been a hit here at the show. And we're kind of noticing a few things as Evil and Ed and I have been here. The old school bikes are attracted, and they attract the older guys.
Right, different levels of people. You get, all the new ruckuses attract the younger guys, and the old school bikes are all of us old guys,
Yeah, and that's what I've seen. So the young kids will run, and I've been fortunate. Not only do I have a great bike that you brought in, but we have some of the bikes that Jake Moe built. We've got a Temecula Bob long frame that we put together. We also have, the Groms and the Hondas are in the house. That ruckus down there is stretched and it's got air ride and everything else. This is a Honda Grom. It's like a track bike with a carbon fiber body. These are all examples of the bikes that are the guys that come to the show. If you were at the show last year, you probably remember this Stellar bike was on display. It was reflective of our sport, from the old vintage all the way up to the current mini motos. That's the bikes. When it comes to the parts, you'll see many of these bikes, especially mine. I'm a big fan of the F&B pipe. What's happening at F&B? I mean, I know that the bikes, you keep selling those pipes as quick as you make them. You've got that new intake. What's happening with that intake?
Right, well, we have a whole bunch of new stuff. For the people that don't know, we have 3 different style pipes for the small block, and that's going to be your drag style, your rear center exit, and then just a straight back. We're introducing one that's coming out with a muffler. I haven't quite put it out on the website yet, which is fbminibikes.com. And our intakes are made for the higher end engines. We're developing now another one that's designed for the bolt-on for the Harbor Freight Predators, so people can just bolt on a carburetor and get the bike and start riding it. Frames have been going really well. I've had a lot of people purchase off the internet and order them up. We've got quite a few in process right now, so we're busy.
Yeah, we were talking about that. You had a bike going out to Indy. You've got a few bikes on the way to Eastside Racing. And then it's just simply a matter of who's next, right?
Right, absolutely. We have a lot of people doing questions, mostly on the internet. They'll see the bike, and then they want to see what it comes with, what they can do. They see some of our crazy drag bikes to our restorations like you see over here with the Stellar. So it's been very busy.
Frank, I think it's pretty obvious that you're far from just a mini bike builder. It's just obvious when you see your bikes that this comes from a deeper chord. For those folks who may not be aware of it, Frank is an exceptional, not a customizer, he's a car builder, a hot rod builder, and we're not talking about your run-of-the-mill hot rods, okay? We're talking about frame-off, ground-up, award-winning show cars. Tell folks a little bit about what you do kind of during the day.
Yeah, during the day, my normal job is I work for one guy. He's a car collector. He's got a very large car collection. He primarily likes to do 50s and 60s cars, but we get them customized to give all new modern drivetrain, custom paint jobs like on the Stellar. The same guy who painted this bike paints our cars at work. So we do a lot of work with that, all the way to, full custom cars. It just depends what people want, anything. So,
what have you been working on lately?
Right now we're working on a 1960 two-door Ford station wagon that's getting ready to get set up to go to Hot August Nights. We're hoping that it makes it. We just have things, a lot of things to do. But other than that, we've been really busy. Haven't been posting too many pictures because I've been so busy. But I will get some up there for you, whoever wants to see them.
Hey, I know that Solo is going to come out. Apparently, he's always working on that orange bike. What's happening with your brother? I see he's just had some engines back, or he's doing some head work. He's always doing something.
My brother is doing head work now. Actually, he's been doing engine work for a long time, but he's doing a lot more head work for customers who want to get ported and polished cylinder heads. Everything custom on them. So anything you need, you can go to the website, get our phone numbers on there, give us a call, and we can take care of all your engine needs as well as your accessories and mini bikes.
Well, this is my official order request. I have that new 7 horsepower Virgin Tecumseh. I don't know if you saw it on Facebook. It's the copper one.
Right.
It's a 7 horsepower. I started talking about, I need a pipe, but we should probably do a little intake. The more I talk about it, it's like, I'd like to use one of your frames too. So let's talk about that going forward, where we can find a nice home. Maybe we'll make a full-size frame for that 7 horsepower. We'll put a new intake on there from F&B. We'll put another F&B nice pipe on there. We'll have some fun with that bike. But before we get into that too much, folks, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but I had a Ruttman Spider bike with a mini apes. It had a stock 5 horsepower engine. It was orange. It was pristine. One of the nicest Ruttmans that I was able to find. And I worked with Pioneer Car Audio, and we were going to put that bike through its paces and give it away at a Pioneer event. Well, let's just say that even the best laid plans sometimes, right, Frank?
Absolutely.
The bike bounced around, and fortunately I had a flexible client, but the bike I was supposed to turn around in about a year, and now we're going into like almost year 3. But things happen for a reason, and I'm happy to say that the bike will now be in the possession of Frank here at F&B, and we're going to take that Ruttman and we're going to trick it out Pioneer style. We already have a specially crafted seat that has a subwoofer. We've got an idea, or what we thought was an idea for this bike, but as soon as I started to share it with Frank took on the project. But when you hire a guy like Frank, you let him be Frank. So we also gave him some latitude, and he's put his own spin on the bike. Now there's been some mock drawings and renderings of the bike that I've posted, and if you look on my Facebook page, you may have seen them a time or two. But he's got some great ideas that are going to further enhance this bike. And the good news is that not only will it be an F&B bike, but we're going to be giving it away at Joe's Minibike Reunion, which will be held this October at CV Park. We don't have the date yet, but that, at least, Frank, at least you're not getting this with a 1-month deadline.
No.
You're getting this with a handful of months. I know you've got a lot of work to do, but talk a little bit about what you see in that bike, what you kind of see that bike becoming.
Well, that bike is going to become a very nice piece to where we're going to do a couple modifications to it from the factory settings. We're actually going to stretch the bike and set it up with some, mini bags in order to be able to set speakers up. So it looks like some of these Harleys going down the street, but it's going to be a mini bike style. So we've got some things in the work with that. I've got a few different people I'm working with together on it. We're going to get that together so we can present that and give that bike away. And
that'll come to you compliments of Joe's Minibike Reunion and F&B Racing. F&B will be a major sponsor of Joe's Minibike Reunion and our podcast this year for not only helping us out with a bike, but they've always been there. And I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you, Frank, for really being there all the time. People don't understand, hey, will you be on the podcast? So that's like a half of a day and night commitment to get ready and stop from work and drive out here and hang around with us idiots for a few hours, and at least we have good pizza, right?
Yep, good pizza. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Joe. Thank you for putting our bikes on display. Thank you for the shout out. F&B Racing. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, there you have it, folks. So we're live from the Dub event. That was the main man at F&B Racing, Frank Franquez. I'm going to look around. I see Peter from SEMA's walking around. I'm going to try to, I tried to get the owner of the Grom, who I really don't know him by name. This is my first time meeting the guy, to be honest. And as soon as I asked him to be on the podcast, he ran, like literally. He ran. He was a little afraid. So if I could find him and get him to stop hyperventilating to be on a little podcast. If not, we're going to have Peter here. Probably be our last segment when we come back. Once again, if you have any questions or you'd like to make any comments, go ahead and send them on to us. Hashtag your requests with Joe's JMBR, small engine cams, and hashtag F&B Racing. We're live here at the dub event at the LA Convention Center, taping live for broadcast at an upcoming Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast brought to you by Pioneer Car Audio, CRC, and small engine cams. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back to Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. We are filming live, but this is going to be appearing on an upcoming podcast of Joe's Minibike Reunion. You know, we cover the whole gamut here. We go from Evil Ed to Peter Macgillivray from SEMA. Boy, these dub shows have come a long way from when we used to go to them, huh, Peter?
They have, but you know, they're still wildly successful, and they may have changed a little bit. The one thing that they still maintain is this energy. There's a huge crowd here, and I don't know, there's, like I said, there's just a lot of great energy here and enthusiasm and creativity, so it's cool.
Those are all descriptions of Miles Kovac. You know, I saw the guy who runs this is like down there greeting people as they come in. He's been doing it forever. This is his turf, you know, it's SoCal. Yeah. And you know what he's done is, obviously you hear the primary source of excitement here, which is the music, right? The cars. You know, we remember this when it was all based on cars. It seems like he's divvied it up a little bit. You know, it is a music event. It is a car show. It's a people event. Watching people is worth the price of admission, you know?
Well, I don't know. This is a great car show, too.
Well, as I look around, they're all here.
Yeah.
We see a big contingent. You know, it looks a little, again, you can tell by the vehicles how the market is strong. Huge trucks, lifted trucks that probably are $100,000 trucks. Brand new Dodge platform, Super Bs. I bet he's got a couple $100,000 in it.
Right. Joe, how's your booth doing?
Well, you see it. You helped me put it together. Peter was here yesterday with us as we moved in. Well, we're in a nice little cozy spot. We're doing well. You've seen the fact that we attract young kids and old kids. It's mini bikes that do that. You know, Peter, they attract young kids
really
because
cool.
they're small.
It's cool to be at this show and to see the crowd all over you know, that's really cool. And I love it that kids can't keep their hands off these things. And so that's really kind of fun to see them inspired by what we do.
Well, you said something. You know, they're intrigued. It's tough to get the attention of a young kid. In a day of immediate gratification and video games, some kids don't even get out, let alone be a part of something that has a mechanical element. As I told you between breaks here, I really think if we put together an opportunity where young kids could get involved in assembling these bikes, because they're set up to be a father and son project. They're simple in design, simple tools, that we'd probably have sell-out classes. You see what happens when the moms bring their kids here. They watch their kids go nuts. So, yeah, mini bikes do have something. They strike a chord with the young kids. What I get a kick out of too, Peter, is watching the young kids go for the Honda products, the Ruckus or the Groms. And then the old guys, they're all kind of checking out the old vintage bikes like some of the gentlemen up here. It's all good. I had always wanted to be at a dub event, just stick my toe in it, and this is our first attempt.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I think it fits us. You know, we mentioned earlier your tie-in with SEMA. SEMA's known for its custom automotive. You know, it's the aftermarket, but you have a pretty vibrant section that's motorsports related. Talk a little bit about that, won't you?
Well, there's 11 sections at the SEMA show. We kind of have to divide it up, sectionalize it like a supermarket. So there's the milk section, there's the bread section. Well, at the SEMA show, There's the racing and performance section. There's the wheels section. There's mobile electronics. There's tires.
Trucks and SUV.
There's 11 sections of the show. And so we have a power sports section, which, basically, if it's not a car and you drive it in the dirt, it really fits in that power sports category. And it's been doing great. We just launched it a few years ago, and we've got people who come from all over the world, businesses that are in the power sports industry, coming from all over the world to see the exhibitors and the new products for the category that they represent. They also see a lot more than that too, but you're real familiar with that.
We had a chance. We were there this year. I'm fortunate to hang around and tag along and play a small role, but Coleman Power Sports was up there. Now, everybody knows about Coleman Power Sports largely because their mini bikes have been everywhere. You can't go to any department store, any Osh, any place, period. You can't go online without seeing the new mini bikes in a box. Peter, it's about the size of this table, and it's $350 with the engine, and you're now in a mini bike. Fred Williams and one of his staffers from Dirt Every Day ordered 2 of them, put them together, and trekked across what looked like it was the Colorado River. They crossed it, they made it. They're just great, they're easy to get into. They were there launching a new drift bike. The drift bikes are for those old guys. Remember the old big wheel? Well, now there's modern 3-wheel trikes that Coleman has within their power sports category. So they were on display. I had a chance to go say hi to them there because that's what you do at SEMA, you do business. And I had a chance to meet the lady who was working at their power sports section. We mentioned our show, and who knows, there may be an opportunity where we can work with Coleman. And that was an introduction that I made at SEMA, right, which really is the beauty of SEMA.
Well, that is the purpose of the show. It's where businesses come together and talk about opportunities and launch new products and network and learn. It's really a great snapshot of all the cool stuff that's about to hit the market year after year.
Now, Peter, there's been some confusion over the years, especially like with the television shows capturing all the attention at the SEMA show and airing it on national TV. Someone that may be a casual auto sports or motorsports fan sitting down on a Sunday night watching the SEMA show would think maybe, I want to go there next year. Yeah. There's kind of a story about what's available to a consumer. Can you clarify that?
Of course. To your point, Joe, the SEMA show is a trade-only show. You have to be employed by a speed shop or some kind of automotive-related shop. You've got to be a manufacturer.
You have to be qualified.
And so you have to be qualified. And we're really grateful for all of the consumer interest in the products from our industry, and particularly the ones that are unveiled at our show. That's awesome. We love that. Unfortunately, we just don't have the bandwidth to handle a crowd of consumers and business people. And so for the foreseeable future, the show is trade only. But the good news is a few years ago, you worked with me on this. You helped launch it. The SEMA Cruise on Friday night of the SEMA show, and SEMA Ignited, the official after party, those are open to the consumers. And the best of the SEMA show sticks around for those Friday events, the Cruise and Ignited. You've been there. You announce it year after year. You're going to be there this year announcing. And, if you haven't been to it, and you can take that time to visit us on Friday night at the SEMA show, it's pretty awesome. It's been awesome.
I'll offer that as a personal invitation to you consumers by Peter from SEMA to check it out. It's the SEMA Cruise at SEMA Ignited. You'll hear about it.
And Joe, we'll get you some free passes.
Oh.
For your podcast for SEMA Ignited. So you figure out how you want to hand them out.
Thank you very much.
I'll take care of you on some passes.
Well, there you go, folks. So not only get the invitation, we may have some free tickets for you. What's nice about the Cruise and what's nice about Ignited is that when you're at the trade show, these vehicles are static. And you see them, but you see them just parked. Sometimes you're fortunate and the hood may be open or the door may be open, but you really can't hear them. You know, that's a part of owning a hot rod, and an internal combustion engine is feeling it, hearing it, smelling those fumes. Well, you get to do that when you enjoy the cruise because, as Peter said, it's the best of the best. Every vehicle that was on that show floor, whether it was inside the halls or outside, they single file come through the SEMA cruise. So you hear them. We pull them over. We pull over some of the cars that are stars. We pull over some of the stars that are the drivers. We intermittently exchange a little dialogue. It's fun.
You do a great job. You do a great job with that event and everything that you do for SEMA. It's really a lot of fun working with you. And I have a lot of fun visiting you here at the Dub Show to talk about Joe's Minibike Reunion this year. What's in store for us?
We are giving away a custom bike, Peter, a custom vintage mini bike that is being made available through our friends at Pioneer. This mini bike will be unique because it'll be literally a rolling sound wagon. The seat is designed to be a subwoofer. The headlight and the taillights are speakers. You know, and you'll notice, Peter, off to the left, you see some of those full-size Harley dressers.
Yeah, yeah.
See the bags in the back, the luggage bags? We've got a little bit of an idea about maybe that setup by stretching the frame on this bike and putting some saddlebags, which will serve as housings for our audio. There'll be an air bag system which will elevate the bike. And the original intention when we were building this bike with Pioneer was to give it away at a Pioneer function. We've been lucky enough to get this bike approved to be given away at the upcoming Joe's Minibike Reunion. So that to me is part of the excitement of the show. The other thing is that, you know, food has always been an issue with us. Try as we might to have a food truck there or to do it right, it's always an issue. This year we're going to be serving our own Joe's Minibike Reunion food.
Really?
All of our guys, oh yeah, Peter, we're going to do it right. You know I love to cook. Wow. So we're going to have hamburgers out there. We're going to have our little breakfast tacos. And we've extended the hour. It's now till 2 o'clock instead of 1. So look for our giveaways. You know, I love giving stuff away. You train me well. We give away more stuff that I know to do with. We're big advocates that you just get involved in our hobby. I've said it before, this is a great launching pad for fathers and sons to put together mini bikes. This is how you learn basic auto mechanics on a mini bike. And I believe if you're anything like me or some of the guys that I know, these mini bikes will be launching pads for you as a young kid to adopt an interest in automotive. And then you'll be, hopefully always be a mini bike fan, but you'll grow to cars. And who knows, maybe see you at an upcoming SEMA show, SEMA cruise. And if we're lucky, a Joe's Minibike Reunion. Peter, thanks for stopping by. Hey, if folks want to find out more about the SEMA cruise or SEMA Ignited, what's the easiest way for a consumer to find out?
There's a ton on the web right now. SEMAcruise.com, SEMA Ignited. You can always visit SEMA.org to learn more about the organization, the SEMA Action Network, SEMASAN.com. There's a ton out there. If you want to learn more about us, you can Google us, of course, too.
Yep, and you can check us out as well. I know Peter would want to give a big shout out to Max and Alex and Diane. I know you don't listen to stuff like this, but Team Macgillivray, keep up the good work. We'll see you guys soon. Hey, everybody, it's Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. We're broadcasting live for a future upcoming Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. We're brought to you by Pioneer Car Audio, CRC, small engine cams, and Christ, at this point, might as well make Coleman sponsor. Our friends from the SEMA Show Power Sports section is sponsored too. Thanks for listening. We'll be right back after a few minutes of a little bit more dub live music. Thanks for listening. Hey everybody, welcome back to Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast, and I love saying this. We're filming live from the Los Angeles Convention Center. We're here at the Dub Live show. Now we're taping live here. Got the evil one with me, and we're going to be broadcasting this on a future podcast. That was pretty cool. We had Peter from SEMA on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Do you remember we had him on the show early on?
Early last year?
Yep.
Last year, yeah.
Him and I had too many drinks, I think. Plus, that was when Well, we still suck, but that was early on when we were stepping all over each other and talking all over each other. We've gotten just a tad better at that. Look at the big fan base you have, Ed. You've got everybody over there.
Yep.
Want to buy a shirt? Hey, we got a customer. Oh, got to stop the podcast. We got to, we brought about 50 shirts. Didn't sell a fucking one, okay? Got somebody over here. I'm going to probably give him the shirt. I'll be right with you, sir. You have credit cards? We prefer cash. Hey, we had a great time here at Dub Live. It was a fiasco. Like I said, we lost a couple soldiers who didn't make the war. Rest in peace, Ian Cordova and Wade Kawasaki and Brian Franquez. Oh, and yes, you, the evil one, because you forgot the dates. Your bike's not here. But, hey, you guys should be able to hit it. We'll run it back. You'll be here next year. And a big thanks to those guys who did bring bikes. Jake Moe, thanks for creating Frankenstein and helping out. Temecula Bob, how nice it was to have your bike here on display. If I get a small percentage of all the leads I sent you, that wouldn't be too bad of a deal. In fact, I think Ed sold a couple kits for you too, so don't forget Ed's commission. The Stellar could have been the hit of the show, Ed. A lot of guys.
Yeah. It's a nice bike.
And now that Frank had a chance to walk us through and you really see some of the details, that's a nice damn bike.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They should have chromed the clips for the cables, but I don't want to be a total anal about it, but that's a nice bike. Surprisingly...
Well, if you look hard enough at everything, you can,
well,
you can always find something wrong with something.
No, or if you look at it really well, you'll find something that you didn't see at first
Well, I
glance.
could walk around here on these cars here and find something wrong.
For sure. Any chicks hit on you? I see a lot of girls were talking to you. Did you get any propositions? Nothing?
No, just the heavy set ones.
How much we got in lunch? I think we got the $18 chicken strips. We got the $8 Cokes. I think we're done with eating over here. We can go have a steak. It'd be cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
You feel the music? You got a little. You feel it? You deaf? Huh? Yeah, I'm fucking tone deaf too.
Man,
it was a good day, wasn't it?
My ears are gonna be hurting tomorrow.
It was fun though.
Man.
Yeah, I think we've got something here. Maybe we'll be back next year. I want a big shout out to Miles at Dub. Everybody at Dub, thank you for being great hosts.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank our guests. We had Peter from SEMA. We had Frank from F&B. I want to say thank you to you, Ed. I want to say thank you to you, Emmanuel, for hauling out here. Now, it was E's daughter, Elle's birthday this weekend. Elle, you did a great job climbing that wall. You'd never get your Uncle Joe climbing that wall. You see what they do now, kids? They climb, see that cement partition? Yeah. They stick like little cups on there. You're supposed to like climb up there. I wouldn't get like halfway. His daughter was like up to the top in 3 minutes. Elle, happy birthday. How old is Elle going to be? 10? God bless you, Elle. You have a great rest of your life ahead of you. You're so talented. It's going to be great. Now, Emmanuel, you got the big upcoming Sclero Walk. It's in the Valley, right? When is it? It's the 24th. It's a Saturday. We're going to try to get down there ourselves. If you want to find out more about it, sclerowalk.org. It's going to be a wrap. Go ahead and send in your comments, your questions. Again, we're still giving away a small engine cam. I want to thank our sponsors from Pioneer and CRC for all the help. We did it. We moved in. We had a little bit of a spot. We created a scene. It's a thing now. Joe's Minibike Reunion in Dub. Who knows? Maybe we'll have it. This is a national tour, Ed. They go to Chicago and Atlanta and Vegas. They're at SEMA. Dub sets this up in a smaller scale at SEMA. So who knows? Maybe you'll see us broadcasting a Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast from another Dub Live event. It's been a great time. We've had a great time. We hope you have too. We'll probably go back and have some fun chopping this up. And maybe we'll give you a little added twist as we launch this into a podcast. Emmanuel will be uploading our last podcast, which was our season opener for season 3 shortly. Hey, everybody. Thanks for being big fans of Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. We appreciate you. We love you. We hope you keep a tab of us on Facebook, as well as go to JMBR podcast on YouTube and subscribe. We'll be able to do more things like this. Joe's Minibike Reunion coming to a town near you soon. Evil Ed, thanks for joining me. We got an easy setup. We got an easy pack up too. We'll be home before tonight. and we'll do this again next time I see you. How's that for a plan?
That sounds good, Joe.
All right, on behalf of Evil Ed, on behalf of Emmanuel, Munda, D1 Productions, thanks for watching and listening to Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast, broadcast live from the Dub event here at the Los Angeles Convention Center.
See ya.